That's right, it's another episode of Gus Talks Wrestling. Since I did one all about the Worlds Collide PLE, I have to do one about Money in the Bank. This is one of my favorite PLEs throughout the year, and I can't wait to see who wins the briefcases, just due to the simple fact that I think it's very up in the air as to who actually is going to win this time around. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Women's Intercontinental Championship match of Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Now, mind you, I don't think this one was necessary to put onto this PLE, but I do see that they're trying to give Lyra a bit more limelight, which I'm okay with that. Now, I absolutely feel that Bailey is going to show up and have some sort of effect on this match. As to who I think is going to win this, I do think Lyra is going to retain the title for a couple of reasons. Number one, they are trying to make her stand out a little bit more and look a little stronger. Number two, they took Chelsea's title away, which I think was a really bad idea. Nothing against Zelina Vega, but I wanted to see a longer reign with that title. And I just have a feeling that they're going to try to give Lyra a longer reign with this title. Next, we have the Women's Money in the Bank match, which has Stephanie Vakir, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Julia. First of all, I hope everyone can recognize this has to be the most gothic Money in the Bank match ever done before. Look at all of the outfits that everyone in the match wears. Like, I feel like I walked into some sort of goth nightclub. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I love each and every one of these wrestlers. Some a bit more than others, and ones a bit more recently, but I still like all of them. When it comes to who's going to win this, I think that's a difficult one to figure out ahead of time, because any one of them could do really well with the briefcase. Now, I don't think that Alexa or Rhea should get it, just due to the simple fact that, either one of them, just on their name and their previous history, could go for a main title. Now, I also don't think they should give it to Stephanie or Julia yet because they're a bit newer to the main roster. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Stephanie gets it just because they are really putting a rocket to her and just shooting her into the stratosphere, but I think they should give her a little bit more time. Now, I think it should be either Naomi or Roxanne. Roxanne has definitely earned her stripes, and I think she has an opportunity here to do something great with that case. And at the same time, Naomi has been doing a lot better as a heel, and she has been in the company for a while and deserves this opportunity to go for a title again. Next up, we have the men's Money in the Bank match, which has LA Knight, Penta, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, Seth Rollins, and El Grande Americano. I'm not particularly happy about the fact that El Grande is in this, just due to the simple fact that Chad Gable is in the main event at Worlds Collide. Now, I realize they're supposed to be two separate characters, but still, I think it's very unfair because there were people like AJ Styles or Carmelo Hayes or a few other people that could have been put into this that deserve that opportunity. Now, as to who I think is going to win this, that's a bit more difficult. I I don't think Solo or Andrade should get the case. I don't feel like either of them has enough hype behind them at this point to really make it into something big. Penta would be an amazing one to give it to, but I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on that yet. So I feel it's going to come down to the other three. Seth Rollins makes a lot of sense, especially if they're trying to do the whole he's trying to run Raw and is the most powerful person on that brand. But I honestly I don't want him to have it. I do realize it could be a really good storyline, but I kind of don't want him to have it. Now, I feel like LA Knight is the right way to go, mainly due to the fact that he deserves it. He's definitely earned his stripes. And they just recently finalized that whole agreement with Slim Jim. So now their brand is on everything. And he's currently the Slim Jim guy. He's on all of their advertising and stuff like that. So just imagine him getting the case, falling into the middle of the ring on the Slim Jim logo, and being the guy who's Money in the Bank. I think it kind of writes itself, but at the same time, I can see El Grande Americano being the choice because Chad Gable performed in Worlds Collide and now he's also performing in this match. So it shows that he has a lot of ability. And it would also be a crazy storyline of Chad Gable not being able to say that he's Mr. Money in the Bank, but El Grande is. But I just don't know if they're going to go that route. Finally, there's the tag team match of John Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. This could be good. I am not a fan at all of the last time that Cena and Rhodes were in a match together, but hopefully this one could be good. I do definitely feel that we're going to see whoever wins the men's Money in the Bank match at least show up during this because we have both champions that are going to be in this match. And if one of them is looking weak, now I don't necessarily think that the case is going to be used that night, but I feel like whoever wins that case will at least make an appearance. Now, they haven't announced a fifth match yet, and most of the PLEs seem to have at least five. So I think on SmackDown tonight, they're going to announce that it's going to be Jacob Fatu versus Damian Priest for the United States Championship. Mainly due to the fact that I can't imagine them not putting Jacob into a match, and actually at the same time, Damian, because they're both on the rise at the moment. So I feel like that's probably going to be the additional match, but maybe I'm wrong. So when it comes to my predictions for Money in the Bank, do all of you agree with them? Do you completely disagree? Also, do you think I'm right about that additional match, or do you think there's a different match that's going to happen in its place?